Yo, what's going on guys? Havoc here now, back! Today we're going to be discussing some community suggested features that actually made it into the game. Supercell is a company that loves suggestions, and we know that for a fact because of this list. This list highlights every single suggestion that the community suggested and they added. Yes, it was written by Supercell. I know it's a lot. We won't mention all of them, of course, but let's look at some of the best ones in this list. So let's get right into it. The free spell. According to Supercell, the free spell was suggested one day and they immediately started to work on it as the next spell to be added in the game. Like, whoa! The suggestion was so good, they just had to drop everything they were doing and work on this spell. Well, I'm not sure if that's exactly how it went, but according to this list, they saw the spell in their list and they just picked it as their next spell. And yeah, the free spell isn't some original concept for games, but someone thought it would be cool for Clash of Clans and Supercell liked the idea and, well, as they say, the rest is history. Clan Wars. Yes, surprisingly, one of the biggest features in the game was in fact inspired by the community. It's crazy to imagine, like what if we never suggested Clan Wars? How long would we have waited? Or in fact, would we even have Clan Wars at all? We'll never know for sure, but it would have eventually got suggested anyways. I mean, people always made jokes about how it was called Clash of Clans, but the clans never clashed. The fact that I remember that makes me feel very old. Goddamn. Anyways, it's great that Supercell was inspired by the community on one of their biggest features to date. I personally didn't know this, so the more you know, I guess. The Inferno Tower. So, fun fact, this was actually inspired by several requests for a flamethrower tower. Yes. Back when Town Hall 9 was the highest Town Hall, naturally people speculated and came up with these ideas for Town Hall 10. I mean, we still do that today. Everyone keeps suggesting things for Town Hall 15 and 16 and 17. Anyway, Supercell saw the great ideas the community was suggesting back then, and the flamethrower idea stood out the most, which was then added as the Inferno Tower. A little different, but that's where the inspiration came from. Also, the community kept suggesting to add a defense that targeted multiple troops at the same time from different tiles. And so, as you guessed it, the Inferno Tower was given a multi-target setting. We pretty much built the Inferno Tower. Village construction mode. Obviously, this is referring to village edit mode, but I kind of like construction mode better. And yeah, that's how it was listed. This is undoubtedly one of the best features ever added in the game. In fact, I'm gonna have to say it's the best in my book because without it, I wouldn't be here today. Many of you probably know that I mainly grew my channel off of base builds shortly after this feature was added. But did you know it was community suggested? I didn't. I thought Supercell just came up with it out of the blue, not gonna lie. So apparently the community wanted a way to build our bases better without having to shift everything around, and most commonly this was referred to as an idea called the village construction mode. We had no idea how Supercell would implement this, but we just knew that we wanted something like this. And what we got was probably more than anybody expected, not gonna lie. It was great. And over the years, it's been improved more and more, and it's still being improved, so you gotta love it. Saved troop compositions and rebuilding last army. Bro, you know the struggles back then to constantly have to remember an army and train it every single time. Saving armies and retraining them is probably one of the best things that's been added. It just makes things easier and saves you so much time. Like who bothers to remember an army nowadays, huh? Just copy one and save it forever and you can train it whenever you want. It's so easy. Best thing since sliced bread. Well, maybe not that far, but yeah. I'm glad the community had enough of this and asked Supercell over and over until they eventually added the new barracks system, which by the way they are still improving today. Builder suggestions. Tap builder info to see and select suggested upgrades to perform. Okay, this one brings me back to a time when you didn't really know if you were 100% max until you tapped on stuff to see if it had another level or if you went into village edit mode to kind of see what everything was at, and you had to go to Google to see because you didn't really know what a max Town Hall 10 looked like. Yeah, if you know, you know. This isn't something we needed, let's be honest, but God, is it useful, eh? I check this tab on a daily basis now just to see how close I am to max, or exactly how many walls I have to upgrade left. So, A+ for the community, and of course, Supercell for implementing this and listening to the community. Heroes. This one also comes as a surprise to me because I feel like I never once saw hero concepts or ideas before heroes were actually a thing. According to this list, which yes, if I haven't mentioned already, was written by Supercell, heroes were originally a community suggestion, and Supercell took that and actually added some form of heroes in the game. Now, it's unknown whether Supercell actually took the idea from the community or if they were working on it before, because heroes were added pretty early on. I don't know, I have no idea. But it could be that the community was suggesting some heroes and Supercell had a completely different idea and they were like, you know what, the community has a point. I like their idea. So yeah, I didn't know that, so that's pretty cool to know. Baby Dragon and Miner. Again, I'm surprised. I never knew these two troops were community submissions, but I guess it makes sense. These two troops were originally cards in Clash Royale, and players love that game so much, and the cards in it, that they were starting to suggest, hey Supercell, add this card to Clash, and this one, and that one. A matter of fact, can you add all the cards in Clash Royale to Clash of Clans? Of course, Supercell noticed this and decided to start with the Miner and Baby Dragon. Later on, they would add more. These two cards made the most sense at the time, and the rest is history. Dark Spell Factory. When Dark Elixir Truce was added in early 2013, a lot of players started to speculate on what else would have an alternative dark version. I mean, we have Dark Elixir troops, so now, naturally, we need dark spells. Now, this wasn't added immediately after Dark Elixir troops. In fact, it took years, but Supercell eventually did listen to the community. I guess it just took some time to make sure they were doing it correctly and balance it and come up with some great spells. This changed the game. I mean, new strategies started to emerge and old strategies were being updated to include these new spells. It was pretty great. Like I said, it took them a while to add this, but I think it was well worth the wait. A mark indicating the center of the playing grid. Okay, this one isn't too important, but it's just something we take for granted and never notice how helpful it actually is. I mean, nowadays it's not as useful because you can shift your base with the village edit mode wherever you want, so if you make a mistake, just shift it a direction. But before this feature, this dot was extremely helpful in knowing where the center was. But before this dot, if you accidentally made your base off center and you started to build it and ran out of space in one side, then you had to start over. Like, you couldn't just move your base. And also, you didn't even know where the center was. This is where the center mark came in handy and solved that problem of needing to guess or count where the center was. Again, not a huge addition and probably not as useful today, but it was extremely helpful for years. Gem Mine. I've probably talked about this one most, but yes, the Gem Mine was a community suggested feature and also one that was ruled out for years. I've mentioned this one a lot, so I'll keep it short. Pretty much the gem mine was ruled out for years because people kept making gem mine concepts and Supercell had to respond like, no, just no. But when making the builder base, the gem mine was seen as a potential feature regardless of it being ruled out or not. So it was added. But yeah, at the end of the day, clearly this was a community suggested feature because who doesn't love free gems, right? We obviously came up with the idea. Storage is immune to lightning. I've definitely mentioned this one a lot, and I'm sorry for having to repeat some things throughout videos. It's just that some things come up again and again when talking about completely different topics. In this case, the community was fed up with everyone dropping lightning spells on their Dark Elixir storages for easy loot or just plain revenge. Everyone was asking for some sort of immunity to lightning spells for these storages, so that when someone came along with lightning spells trying to steal your hard-earned Dark Elixir, it wouldn't be as easy as just dropping them on the storages, you know? Supercell's answer was great. There was no immunity, but a shield. Now it's kind of the same thing though, but yeah. A shield was given to all storages, which solved this problem overnight. So guys, I think that should be it for this list of things that the community suggested and Supercell added into Clash of Clans. As you guys saw, there is a huge list. I mean, there's so much I can talk about. Of course, not all of them are interesting, but if you maybe want a part 2, just let me know down below. And yeah, I think that should be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. Havoc Gaming out. Peace!